You're listening to Randy Boy and the Boys podcast. Get ready to have your minds blown with entertainment.
Welcome back to Randy Boy and the Boys podcast. This is a podcast where we like to talk about movies and TV shows that have influenced us in some way, shape, or form, positive or negative. I'm your host, Randy Boy, and today we are joined by a Sco Boy, who we went into a little bit more in depth about who he is and stuff in the last podcast. And coming back to the podcast after some time, Other Boy.
Hello.
So, how's it going?
It's going pretty good. I was over in the home countries for a little bit, so I got the little bits of what you would call the trouble. But now it's troubles, and now as I come back to do alien hunts with my friends, with my families, my brothers. We are brothers. Yeah. How's everything's been going? The fans and the audience. Glad to be back on the talk show.
Yeah, we're glad that you're back too. It's been a bit. We'll do. I know that it might not seem fair with you not having your own origin story episode. We'll do that some other time. But today, Sco Boy, how about you say hello real quick? I forgot. You came in late, so I forgot you're over there.
Okay. Hello everybody, it's Sco Boy again. I'm glad to talk about myself in the last episode. That was pretty fun to tell the audience some stuff they've been wanting to know about me. I hope I answered all your questions. I heard earlier Randy Boy said that there were some more audience questions for me. I think we're going to answer those at the end of the podcast. But go ahead, Randy Boy. Tell us what we're going to be talking about today.
Today we're going to be talking about a subject I keep hearing get brought up in pop culture. I remember Taylor Swift from when I was a pup. She's been around for a long time. She's getting pretty old. But I remember when she used to sing songs like you were Romeo, something, something, Pebbles, and Daddy said something, Juliet. You know that song, that beautiful song, and she used to sing, why you gotta be so mean? And then she went from singing things like that to, ooh, what you made me do. Look what you made me do. Look what you made me, look at what you made me do. And it was a pretty drastic change in like genre and stuff, because she was like a folk country singer, and then she started singing like pop music, like a Christina Aguilera or Katy Perry or something like that. And it was so drastic of a change. And it's like, how can a person who wrote this sort of music go on to write this different kind of music? And it was baffling to me. And it's something that's been stuck in my head for a long time. So I thought today we might discuss what led to these drastic change in genres and songwriting. Because how can one person go from songwriting these beautiful songs about being 15 and someone tells you they love you, you're going to believe them
I think so.
Look what you made me do. It's drastically different.
I think some...
Sorry, what were you gonna say?
I think so. I think so. It's a deep little dive into the music industries. I think it's something very interesting and something that I very much wanted to know too. So I'm glad we're talking about this today.
Yeah.
I got a lot of theories. I got a lot of questions.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can find out the little bit more of the psychologies of the Taylor Swift. I couldn't have said it better myself. There's a lot of theories I have, and I'm sure there's a lot of theories that Skullboy has too. Because when you were away, we kind of talked about it a little bit, but we didn't really delve deep into the whole what could possibly bring on a drastic change like this. We just discussed it a little bit in past, and that was all. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting down to the nit and gritty of it all, seeing what we can find out, seeing what we can come up with. Skullboy, you got anything to add?
Yeah, basically the other boy summed it up, and you did a good job summing it up. I've been beating myself up with this question for a long time.
Yeah.
I love that one song she sang. The love story. You were singing it earlier.
Beautiful song.
Beautiful. We were both young when I first saw you.
Yes.
I just love that opening. It makes me tear up every time I hear it. I can listen to it over and over again. I shower that song. I dance to that song.
Yes. Yeah.
There's nothing in your imagination you can think of a person doing. I do to that song.
That's a little
everything.
weird.
That's everything you can think
That's
of.
a weird thing to say.
And I didn't really like it when she started going, "Hey, look what you made me do." And I write a blank check, baby.
No.
I write your name or whatever the hell.
Yeah.
She sung in that song. I didn't listen to it because it wasn't Love Story.
Right, yeah.
Or 15.
Correct, yes.
So, yeah, that's all I had to add to that.
Okay, well, I guess we got our initial thoughts out there.
Yeah.
And now we can start diving into why we think this happened.
Let's do it.
I'll go first. My theory is that there's a lyric where Taylor, in one of her, I guess you wouldn't call it a new song anymore because it's been out for a while now.
Yes.
But to me, if it's not like Love Story 15, it's a new song.
It's news, yeah.
It's not. And one of her,
it's not the original song.
She says that Taylor can't come to the phone right now because she's dead.
Yes. What?
I think you could maybe take that a little. You could take that literally. Maybe the Taylor Swift that you see now is literally not the same Taylor Swift as you saw back then.
Yes.
I think that's a possibility.
I agree.
I don't know how they could pull something like that off, but there's
Science.
cloning, there's robots. So we're going to talk about which one of those methods, or I'd like to talk about which one of those methods would probably be more realistic.
Yeah.
And to how they could make a new Taylor.
Yeah.
Your theory is ones I agrees on too.
Yeah.
I find it fascinating how the one person could come up with a different genre of songwriting. I just don't find that plausible.
It's not possible.
I am a songwriter myself, and
I
write very specifically. I don't really ever stray from the writing that I do write. I think most people's are like that. I think Green Day they write the punk.
Beethoven wrote piano
Beyonce's she writes she writes the pop.
Right.
And I think with Taylor's it was she wrote the country songs, and or you could call them more like pop country songs. But then she took out the country, and it's like how does ones actually does that? It
doesn't seem possible.
Does not seems physically or mentally possible to me. I believe that the Taylor Swift that you heard that sings the 15 is not the same Taylor Swift that you hear says the blank checks. I think that it's possibly a new organic life forms that they clone and they just recycle the names Taylor Swift, but it's not the same. Not the same brain, no.
I like that theory pretty good. I think, okay, listen. They can make Android phones, right?
Yeah.
You see those phones called Androids that Google makes?
Yeah.
If they can make phones, buddy, they can make Android people. I'm telling you right now. I mean, it's you would say, buddy, that costs too much money to make new Android Taylor Swift every few albums. But listen, she makes a lot of money.
She does. So
that'd be an investment for Google because she probably pulls in a lot of money for Google.
Thank you.
If she's an Android.
Right. Yeah.
So that's my theory. I think they make a new Taylor Swift with a new artificial brain that she kind of looks the same, but there's small little details you can tell. They make it look like she's like getting older or something, but that don't fool me, buddy. No. I know it's different. Yeah. I know it's a new artificial brain, it's a new artificial body, and she plays different music, and now that's why they made her a little too robotic that one time, and she forgot how to use. It took more of her human soul away, and that's why she started making more robot-like music because she didn't have no soul to sing, country music songs about love and Romeo and Juliet and being 15.
Yeah.
So I think they dehumanized her a little too much, and now they had to make a new one where they put more human emotion back into her, and that's why she's doing more like country emotional stuff again now. That's just my theory, though, that I'm pretty sure is right.
That actually sounds a lot better than my theory.
Yeah,
and it's my theory,
too.
Other theory that I had, which involved, like, aliens having some sort of, DNA thing where they can produce clones of her.
That's almost identical to my theory.
The aliens, they want to hear a certain genre someday, so they, they're in the mood for some country.
Yeah,
right. So they, put out the clone of the country Taylor Swift, and sometimes they want to hear pop music, and so they put out the pop Taylor Swift. Depending on what mood it is, or if it's like a rainy Sunday and they're feeling a little sad, they're feeling a little bit more human. They'll put on some country Taylor Swift as they produce her.
Correct. Yes.
And if they're feeling like want to get hyped up, go clubbing, or they want to go, I don't know. I don't know how they think, but maybe if they want to get more hyped up, they'll put pop music Taylor Swift in there.
Right,
but they just like Taylor Swift. They like making Taylor Swift because maybe it's easy for them to produce and not that cost efficient. But
not be that cost
making
efficient.
Android people and making money off of it seems a little bit more reasonable to me.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, one more thing about Taylor Swift before we stop talking about her is, do you think she is the best guitar player in the world? Yes or no? And I guess we could start with Other Boy.
I do believe she's the best guitars players. I've been
I
around
agree.
many musicians. Being a musician myself, I've heard.
You're a beautiful musician, man.
I've played with the greats Yngwie Malmsteens. I've played with Joe Satriani's. I've played with Edward Van Halen. I've played with John Fives. I've played with almost every major musician, every guitarist players that's renowned. Tom Morello's.
Right. Yeah.
Michelangelo. I've played
That's
with
a Ninja Turtle.
Yeah, Angel Vivaldi.
He's a
I
musician
played with
too, buddy.
most of the major guitar players, the big hitters, and not one can hold a candle to Taylor Swift's. She doesn't. I've heard her solos. She doesn't. She's like a John Mayer. She likes to write the songs for the radio.
She dated John Mayer too, man.
To do a lot of the fancy guitars works in her songs that you hear on the radios and stuff.
Right,
but I've heard her solos, and they are very complicated. A lot of sweep picking, a lot of technical tapping, a lot of odd scales. She just the neck. I mean, she wears it out. She has to get the new guitars because she wears out the necks on them so much with how fast she goes. It's pretty amazing. So yes, I do believe that she is the best guitarist players in the world right now. I don't think, or in the past, I think in the entire human existence, Taylor Swift is the best guitarist players. A lot of people don't know that, but a lot of people haven't heard her solos. And I personally have. So that is my opinion. And she also writes the best riffs. And she possibly could be the best pianist, keyboardist in the world also.
Cool.
I gotta agree with you.
Yes.
I ain't got much to add on to that.
Okay.
Other than you're probably right.
He's right. Yes.
Because you said things that sounded musical and whatnot.
Yeah.
And yeah. I'm just the lead singer, so I'm basically just a cheerleader that don't got no other talent. No. Just use my voice.
Use beautiful singers, man. You're a beautiful singer, man.
I got beautiful vocal range.
You just got the beautiful vocal range. You always beautiful singers, and you should not sell yourself short.
I got a bad habit of doing that.
That's all I've got to say. Also, Schoolboy, you really shouldn't sell yourself short.
No, don't do that.
You're one of the most beautiful singers that I've ever heard in my life.
Thank you very much.
But I think we're going to be done talking about Taylor Swift right now because we got some fan questions.
Goody.
Actually, for Schoolboy, so Boy, I'm sorry.
It's fine.
Maybe after whatever. Your origin story, we'll have some questions for you.
Yes, it's whatever. I stopped talking
now.
But
Schoolboy, first question is, if you had to go alien hunting with any UFCer, who would it be and why?
That's a good question. Whoever asked that.
Very good question.
I contemplate this one and I ponder on it a lot. I think I would probably take Conor McGregor with me because I don't really like him. He's annoying.
He's a jerk.
He's just got these things about him I don't like.
Yeah.
So I know that the aliens we encounter, they don't like annoying people. They don't really like
Zoloft don't like that stuff, man.
Like him. So he would make really good alien bait.
Yeah.
All jokes aside, I'll answer it for real.
Okay, good. I was hoping you weren't serious.
I think I'd probably take John Jones with me because he just seems like he wouldn't have a problem doing anything unethical. And when you get into alien hunting, sometimes you got to do some things unethical, but it's for their own good. It's, we're trying to save the aliens, trying to get them into heaven and whatnot.
Right, yeah.
And John Jones has a Bible verse tattooed across his chest.
Yep.
So that probably, he probably has some points with the Lord because of that.
Yeah, he's a very holy man.
He could probably get me some good drugs. And that's always a plus when you're going alien hunting.
Yeah,
when
man.
You're looking for aliens,
steroids too, man.
Sometimes you need something to pass the time by. So good little hit, little scoop of cocaine or something, that'd probably be good. And he'd probably be good for that. So the answer to that would probably be John Jones.
Okay, yeah. So I liked your answer. I agree with you. I probably would do the same thing.
Okay.
And sometimes you need people who aren't afraid to do things outside the gray area, more in the black area.
Right. He lives there.
Which he's very fond of. He's done some pretty questionable, unethical things.
He sure has, man.
You wouldn't have to worry about him not taking it to the fullest level.
Oh, he'd take it.
Okay, so for the next question, we're sticking with the UFC fighter guys.
All right.
This question asks, who do you think you could beat up the easiest in the UFC? What UFCer could you take no problem?
Okay, that's another easy question.
All right.
I think Donald Cowboy Cerrone would be the easiest fight, and I'll tell you how I do it.
All right.
First, I would find his backer before the fight, and I'd lace it with some kind of sleepy pill or some kind of hallucinating drug.
Right, smart.
And then he'd go put a big jaw in.
Yeah.
And then, he'd be in the back warming up for a fight.
Right,
which would be, obviously the biggest selling pay-per-view of all time because it's going to be Schoolboy versus the Cowboy.
Yeah.
And then, he'd be in the back warming up and he'd be like, what's going on, man? I'm starting to get sleepy. And then he's going to be like, oh, more nicotine, more snuff's going to be the answer.
Man, you think that'll energize him.
And then he's going to put more snuff in his mouth.
Right, yeah.
And then he's going to make me more sleepier. And then he's going to go in there, and I'll hit him with the Camel Crusher.
Right.
I'll hit him with the Stone Cold Stunner.
Right.
I'll hit him with the DDP.
Yeah.
I'll hit him with everything in my arsenal. He won't last 10 seconds, and then he'll be knocked out or asleep from the sleepy pills or the hallucinating drugs that I put in there, and he'd think I was the biggest, baddest monster in the world, which I am, and he better watch out, because I will come for him, and we'll have a rematch, and I'll do it all all over again.
Right.
And I'll take his Bud Light sponsorship, and I'll take every cowboy hat he has in his house, and I'll take every belt buckle. I'll take every horse. I'll take everything. I'll take his whole farm. He don't want none of me. And he would regret stepping in the cage against the biggest, baddest in the world. That's Bois. Don't forget the name. That's Bois. So yeah, that's the answer to that one.
That was intense.
Yeah.
I'm a little shaken up
All right.
by that. So I think we're gonna end it on that.
All right.
Thanks everybody for listening to us.
Yeah, thank everybody.
Y'all want to say bye?
Bye.
Toodaloos.
All right, everybody. Have a good one.